Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tej. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for stopping by, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back to my channel. It's been a minute, and happy new year, guys. I pray that 2025 gives you everything you ever yearned for, everything you ever desired, and I pray that 2025 open greater doors for you in Jesus' name, for me as well in Jesus' name. Amen. I'm sure from the thumbnail you already know what we're doing today. For the new year, I'm like, let me just do a Q&A so that I can make myself more familiar with my new subscribers and even my old subscribers as well. So during the course of the early days, I sent a Q&A to my friends, and a couple of questions came in, and I kind of compressed all the questions into 10 so that we don't spend the whole day here, because a couple of questions were repetitive, and I had to just merge them, and I'm going to be answering. So if you don't see your question in this Q&A, just know that you're going to get that answer, because I'm going to tie that your answer to your question to another question that resembles, that looks like yours, so that I can save time here. So the questions are on my old phone, and I'm going to be reading them one after the other, in no particular order actually. Now the first question here says, what is your greatest fear? And honestly speaking, before now it used to be poverty, this and that, but as I grew older, I knew that some things you have to, rather than fear them, you have to just be proactive and constantly walk in the line of what you want to achieve. So for example, fear of not making money, I know the things that I can do to make me walk in that line. But things that I cannot control, things that I can't control, are like my greatest fear. Things that are out of my own control. For example, my kids, God forbid, are in danger and I'm not there to help them, or something, not being there for my kids because of things that are out of my control, or not being there for my family when they need me the most, or things that are just really out of my control that I cannot do anything about it. Those are my greatest fear, and they span across all phases of life, right? Not just my family, even for myself, but majorly my greatest fear is the fear of things that I cannot control, things that are not within my power, things that I cannot give myself. Those are my greatest fear. Now moving on to question 2. This one says, do you believe in 50-50 in marriage? Hey, you guys, do you want to hear my honest opinion about this? I don't really think that 50-50 works in any kind of relationship, whether marriage or any situationship, because at the end of the day, one person is always giving more than the other. It is just a fact. You would find in any marriage or in any relationship, you would normally find one person giving more than the other. It might not be in terms of financial monetary terms, it might be in terms of service, it might even be in terms of emotions. Somebody is always giving more than the other. Let's establish that. Now let's come back to the final, because I'm sure this person is asking in terms of monetary terms. So in terms of 50-50, I personally do not believe in I don't do 50-50. I don't believe in 50-50. What I do believe in is 100-100. That's what I believe in. I believe that 50 is not enough. I need you to bring 100, and let me bring my 100 as well. That way, if either party needs to split at any point, or if either party falls ill and they cannot make an income at that time, my own 100 would carry the family, or his own 100 carries the family, such that nobody's lacking. But when you come with the mentality of, oh, I'm going to be doing 50-50, what if the person dies, or what if the person falls ill and they cannot make money, and then what happens to your rent or mortgage at that time? What happens to your other bills? What happens to the running of the successful running of the house? And I also believe strongly in empathy. I believe that even if I can do these things, it would be nice if you do it for me as well. Even if you can do this thing, it'd be nice I do it for you as well. It doesn't have to come from, I don't believe in 50-50. That's just the truth. Let me not overflog this. I do not believe in it. Then third question says, fame or love, which would you prefer? Oh, this one goes without saying. Everybody like. And to answer this question, I would say that I genuinely prefer love to fame, because fame comes at a cost. They strip you of your privacy. They strip you of so many things that you could have enjoyed in private. So I'll genuinely take true love, kind love, sweet love over fame. Yeah, that's my answer. The fourth question says, do you like cooking? Okay, so my relationship with cooking is kind of fire and ice. Today I love cooking. I'm always cooking. The next minute I just want to get the hell out of that kitchen. I feel like I don't like to think about the process of cooking. Like, I don't want to, if I have to cook, I don't want to think about it that I have to cook. No, I just want to get to the kitchen first and start thinking, what do I cook? What do I cook? At that point, I'm in the kitchen already. I can't go back to. But thinking about it in my bed, it stresses me out, and but by the moment I begin to cook, and I begin to melt my butter and begin to add my onions and garlic, and the whole kitchen is smelling nice, I'm like, yeah, I like cooking. But thinking about it, I don't. I don't know. I do like cooking, but I don't like the thought of it. Yeah, that's my answer to that question. So the fifth question says, is this a good time to come to Canada? Okay, this is one of the questions that I like. Is this a good time to come to Canada? And I'll be very honest with you, right? The times that Canada was really great for people, the time that Canada was really, really, really good, like, standard of living was perfect. There was job opportunities. If you're doing business, you're going to excel. Taxes were not this high. Mortgages were not this high. Those times have passed, right? I'm talking 5, 6, 7 years ago. Those were the times that coming to Canada was like, okay, you're actually relocating, like, for greener pastures. But now the economy has really changed drastically, and things are becoming so expensive. Everybody is feeling the heat. There's no jobs, especially in Ontario. There's no job. Accommodation is stressful to find. Groceries are expensive, and generally business people are lamenting. Mortgages are high, interest rates are high. So I feel like if you're coming to Canada at this time, it's okay. You can come to Canada regardless. You're going to make it. Regardless, you're going to see job. Regardless, it's just going to take longer time than it would normally take in 5, 6, 7 years ago. But to answer your question, is this a good time to come to Canada? Yes, it is always a good time to come. Just prepare ahead. I've always said this on my channel. Just know where you're coming to, know the province you're coming to, know what obtains, know the tax brackets, the marginal rates, the provincial rates that applies to income, and just make an informed, data-driven decision before you carry your bags from wherever you're coming into Canada. Now, the sixth question says, at what point did you realize that you have become an African mom? Right away. The moment I had my children, I knew that, okay, I'm African. Automatically, I have to assume the role. But I must say that there's so many things African moms used to do that I don't do. However, I think to answer your question, there was a time my daughter, my very, very opinionated, beautiful daughter, by the way, was trying to correct my English. So she was, telling me something, and I was like, what did you say? What did you say? And she's like, no, mom, you said, pardon me? And I'm like, no, you cannot correct my English. What did you say? And she was trying to, pretty much shove her opinion down my throat and say, mom, you have to say, pardon me. It was at that point that I realized that, Teji, you're already becoming an African mom, because they can't even correct your English. It was at that point that it dawned on me that, okay, maybe I'm African, by the way, so it just goes without saying. But I feel like right away I knew that, okay, I'm going to be training my child the African way, but with exceptions to some BS, basically. And then, what is your opinion for people who want to transition into tech in 2025? So honestly speaking, this is another question that really struck me, because I'm in tech and I know what tech is saying. Is tech a very good industry? Absolutely. Is tech interesting? Well, it depends on the field you major in. However, I would say that, to be very honest, tech is highly saturated. Every industry is saturated, but I feel like the noise around tech roles has made the industry very saturated, and everybody just wants to transition into tech, especially the no code industry, like the no code fields, the fields whereby you don't have to code, like product management, business analyst, what's the other one, quality analyst, GCR, the cybersecurity, the non-coding part. Those fields are highly saturated, and getting a job in this field is very tough. And so getting into tech is very profitable. You're going to work remotely most of the time, and you're going to earn in six figure, obviously, but it's very saturated. So in the process of trying to find a job, you might really burn out and you might really get frustrated, but it depends on your location again. But transitioning into tech overall, I'll say yes, please, by all means. But first, I would say that you can also explore other industries that are not really saturated but that are very much in demand. For example, digital marketing. Every business needs a digital marketer. Digital marketing is a very broad umbrella that has a lot of fields under it as well. There's social media manager, influencer marketing, content writing. There's a lot, design and things like that. You can go to LinkedIn Learning, find a course under digital marketing, just learn about it for a bit and see if it is something you're interested in, and you'd see that it is very, very, very much in demand. So just make your research. But if you feel like you really, really love tech, your passion for technology exudes, and you really want to go into tech, by all means, please come into tech. And just know that you have to be very, very extremely good at your craft, or else you're going to be competing with some really great sharks in the water that are extremely talented as well. So learn that craft, master it very extremely well, so that you can stand out. That's my advice. And the next question says, what's your opinion on divorce? It's not good and it's not bad too, because it depends on the reason why you're leaving the marriage in the first place, right? In my opinion, I feel like there are some things that must have happened that just have to lead to divorce. There are some things, if you're living with an abusive partner and it is almost claiming your life, I think that is grounds for divorce. If you have an unfaithful partner that has constantly cheated on you and rubbed it in your face, and even behind your back, and you find out, these are ground for divorce, right? it is up to you to decide if you want to leave or you want to stay. At the end of the day, you are in the marriage, you know what serves you, you know why you are in it. And I also have the opinion that sometimes divorce is usually not the answer or the response to some certain things. I'm very much aware that there's emotional abuse. Apart from domestic abuse, there's emotional abuse, there's physical, verbal, and these things for me are grounds for divorce. Because if you're abusing me emotionally or verbally, diminishing my self-esteem, I cannot be sane for my kids, and it's ground for divorce for me. But I think that sometimes divorce is usually not the response to things like that. I think that sometimes separation or developing some coping mechanism at that time may work, because you would think that divorce would make you happy at that time. You feel like divorce will set you free at that time, but only for you to get out of that marriage and still realize that you are still not fulfilled. There's still something missing. So ultimately it's just for you to, you know, set yourself and know what is right for you. But for you, for the sake of this question, divorce is not good and it's not bad either. That's just, let me just peg it there. Now the next question says, will you have more kids? I'm not pursuing it. I'm not running after, I'm not looking for more kids. I mean, I have a handful already right now, but if it happens, it happens. Yeah, you know, so never say never. The last question is, would you advise me to get married? So absolutely, why not? Why would I change your mind against marriage? I would just say that marriage is sweet. It just depends on who you're with. That's just it. So I'm not going to discourage marriage. Marriage is beautiful. I'm only going to discourage you from getting married to somebody that you cannot cope with, somebody that's going to make the marriage a living hell for you, somebody that's not going to, you know, appreciate you, somebody that's not going to choose you every day of their lives. Because one thing I also realize is that once people get married, they just feel comfortable, right? They just, you know, forget courting, forget dating, and then just like, okay, we are married now, and they just begin to assign roles and responsibilities. Be with an intentional person. Well, I'm never going to advise anybody against marriage. Marriage is beautiful, it is incredible. You just have to be with the right person, that's all. So we've come to the end of the Q&A session today. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself as much as I enjoyed filming it. I had a great time filming this for sure. I'll see you in my next video. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Like and share and comment, and you know, share with your family, comment and like and subscribe, please. It goes a long way. Let's continue the conversation in the comment section, and if you have more questions for me, you can just leave it in the comment section and we'll continue the conversation from there. If it requires that I do a part 2 of this, then I'm open to that. I can always, you know, do that as well. Thank you for watching once again. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.